What's all the rage in Paris? The latest trend to take the fashion world by storm?
There's this very freeing thing.
I love this look.
The 2000s were a decade that promised the future, flirted with the bizarre, and served fashion on a bedazzled, rhinestone-encrusted platter. It was a time when MySpace ruled the internet. Flip phones were the peak of communication, and every red carpet looked like a chaotic mashup between a futuristic sci-fi flick and a middle school art project gone rogue. From metallic everything to questionable layering choices that defied all logic, the 2000s gave us fashion moments that were bold, brave, and, let's be honest, utterly baffling. So, join us as we unravel 25 of the most innovative fashion trends from the 2000s that failed miserably. Imagine denim cut so low it turned every movement into a risk. In the early 2000s, ultra-low-rise jeans clung to hips, defying gravity and inviting the dreaded whale tail, a thong peeking above the waistband.
Waist of the jean, the better, because we love the 2000s low-rise jeans.
Worn boldly by Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, and Paris Hilton, they became pop culture icons, dominating music videos and red carpets alike. But the reality? Constant tugging, awkward angles, and zero comfort. Style trumped practicality, and confidence came with constant vigilance. Though once a fashion rite of passage, these jeans now face backlash from stars like Megan Fox, who call out their impracticality and exposure-heavy design. Their return sparks debate. Is it nostalgia, or are we repeating fashion's more questionable choices? And just when you thought fashion couldn't get more daring, along came velour with a sparkle.
I mean, I know that you would certainly remember the Juicy Couture tracksuit.
Absolutely.
Right?
And the girls that created the brand are just incredible.
By the mid-2000s, bright velour tracksuits became the unofficial uniform of celebrity downtime. With glittering, juicy script stretching across the rear, these plush sweatsuits were the brainchild of the cult favorite American brand, Juicy Couture.
I have an entire closet that's only Juicy Couture. It's where I go in every single day and just put on my juice.
Worn by Paris Hilton, Britney Spears, and even spotted on red carpets beside evening gowns, they blurred the line between loungewear and couture. The tracksuit's signature zip-up hoodie, paired with flared pants, offered an air of laid-back luxury, until you realized its kitschy sheen and matching rhinestone logos read more novelty costume than effortless chic. Paired with Ugg boots and oversized sunglasses, the effect landed somewhere between cartoonish and contrived. Retrospective fashion editors at Vogue and Harper's Bazaar cite these ensembles as emblematic of a culture chasing comfort through conspicuous branding, often at the expense of genuine sartorial sophistication. Were they dresses? Were they shirts? In the 2000s, tunics over jeans left us all guessing. These long, flowy tops, often empire-waisted or embellished with embroidery, became wardrobe staples, especially when paired with low-rise denim. Stars like Jessica Alba and Alyssa Milano were spotted rocking the combo in 2005, helping turn it into a full-blown trend. Tunics added a boho touch, while jeans grounded the look in casual cool. But the result? A silhouette that sometimes drowned the body in layers with no clear purpose. It straddled the line between effort and confusion, and yet we all wore it. But just when fashion couldn't get more confusing, something bold landed right on our heads. Nothing said, "I'm effortlessly cool" in the early 2000s like a mesh-backed trucker hat emblazoned with a retro logo. Chief among the craze was Von Dutch, a brand resurrecting classic roadside aesthetic with its stylized signature. Celebrities from Gwen Stefani to Ashton Kutcher layered these hats atop every conceivable outfit, from sleek cocktail dresses to sweatpants, hoping to convey a laid-back edge. The ubiquity of these caps made them a visual shorthand for trend-driven youth culture, rather than a functional sunshade. Yet, in hindsight, fashion historians note that the clashing patterns and oversized logos often undermined cohesive styling, turning heads for all the wrong reasons.
Honestly, this hat speaks for itself. the same as the other one, super durable, great stitching.
Modern critics view the trend as a cautionary tale. When hype outpaces design, a once fresh accessory can become an awkward relic begging for retirement. Beanies weren't just for cold weather in the 2000s, they were a statement, no matter the temperature.
That we need to wear our beanies pulled right down over our ears so it covers the whole top of our head.
Knitted, slouchy, and often worn indoors, they showed up with tank tops, miniskirts, and even sundresses. It didn't matter if the sun was blazing. If Misha Barton wore a beanie with a spaghetti-strap dress in 2007, so did everyone else. The look gave off an effortless, I just rolled out of bed and still look cool energy. But style aside, it was the ultimate case of weather denial. The head was sweating, the shoulders were freezing, and nobody questioned it. That's the 2000s for you. Fashion before function. And just when you think the era couldn't get more confused, another trend stepped in with even bolder contradictions. From high school hallways to fashion runways, cargo pants were everywhere in the 2000s. Baggy, low-rise, and loaded with unnecessary pockets, they were the go-to for anyone chasing a rugged, casual vibe, even if there was nothing to actually carry.
Obviously the cargo style, these are very early 2000s. Working pockets you can put your hands through.
Brands like Abercrombie and Hollister turned them into suburban staples, while pop stars and actors wore them like a uniform. Whether in khaki, camo, or pastel, cargo pants promised comfort and cool, but often delivered bulk and confusion. Still, they thrived. For a while. As skinny jeans rose to dominance, the extra fabric and flap pockets started to feel more awkward than edgy. The trend faded, but the memory of those oversized side pockets lives on. And if you thought cargo pants were excessive, the next 2000s trend took extra to a whole new level. A close cousin of ultra-low-rise jeans, the whale tail trend involved intentionally revealing thong straps above low-cut pants or skirts. Popularized by stars like Christina Aguilera, Beyoncé, and Paris Hilton, it became a red carpet staple and tabloid obsession.
What's going on under these jeans? Well, I have what I like to call a whale tail.
Oh yeah.
Let me demonstrate. Oh, wow. Oh, like yes.
Marketed as bold and edgy, it also sparked criticism for promoting hypersexualization and setting unrealistic beauty standards. Psychologists warned that the pressure to follow such trends could harm young women's body image. By the mid-2000s, backlash against overexposure and the rise of mid- and high-rise styles pushed the whale tail out of fashion, leaving behind a legacy of controversy and cultural commentary. Hair dye technology may have advanced, but in the early 2000s, the chunky highlight, often called skunk stripes, was inescapable. Celebrities like Christina Aguilera, NSYNC's Joey Fatone, and Kelly Clarkson showcased thick, bleach blonde streaks contrasting sharply against their natural dark roots. Salon chairs buzzed with blow dryers as stylists painstakingly sectioned hair to achieve this bold, zebra-like effect. While the dramatic contrast made for striking magazine covers and stage lights, everyday wearers found the upkeep brutal. Frequent touch-ups, brass eliminating toners, and the risk of dry, damaged locks. Beauty editors now reflect on skunk stripes as a caution. What looked edgy in a controlled studio environment often translated to maintenance nightmares and harsh lines under regular lighting. The era passed, but its echoes remain in contemporary color-blocking experiments. There was a time when the staccato silhouette of spiky gelled hair ruled nightclubs and MTV. Armed with jars of ultra-strong hair gel and a fine-tooth comb, trendsetters sculpted gravity-defying points that promised all-night hold. Spice Girls, Blink 182 fans, and boy band heartthrobs alike embraced the look, accentuating spikes with metallic highlights for extra drama. In photos, the style screamed attitude. Yet outdoors, a single gust of wind or stray finger could collapse the masterpiece, leaving wearers with a limp, sticky mess. Stylist blogs now chronicle the high-effort, low-yield reality. Lengthy styling sessions, hair break from the constant freeze, and the lingering smell of alcohol-based products.
It's not really that hard, just accept that it will look different every time you style it.
Ultimately, spiky hair reigned briefly before yielding to more relaxed, textured trends. But once the spikes settled, what came fluttering in their place? Let's find out. Asymmetric hemlines gained momentum when celebrities like Paris Hilton introduced handkerchief-style skirts to red carpets and beach parties. The design, featuring irregular points and uneven drapes, was hailed as whimsical and avant-garde by some, but many critics viewed it as unfinished or haphazard. The cascading panels created unexpected silhouettes that moved unpredictably, often catching on heels and creating a wardrobe hazard. Fashion magazines like Marie Claire described it as a hemline feast for the eyes, though the sentiment masked a deeper skepticism about its wearability. Retailers eventually observed sluggish sales after the novelty wore off, and the trend receded as quickly as it arrived, remembered now as a fleeting experiment in sartorial asymmetry. The pageboy cap, traditionally a gentleman's staple, was co-opted by pop stars such as Christina Aguilera, who paired the structured leather cap with spaghetti-strap tops and low-slung skirts. Meanwhile, oversized newsboy hats, bucket hats, and embellished berets vied for attention atop salon blowouts. The result? An over-accessorized cacophony that often looked like afterthoughts rather than cohesive accents. Fashion critics accused wearers of stacking accessories without logic, noting that the headwear frequently clashed with hairstyling and outfit themes. Indoor events became impromptu fashion slightly awkward as guests removed and replaced their caps. Today, these headpieces are relegated to costume bins, serving as a reminder that accessories are best when they complement, not compete. Designed by houses like Hervé Léger and Roland Mouret, the bodycon bandage dress was meant to sculpt and celebrate curves with runway precision.
So this is an off-the-shoulder bandage dress. It's a bodycon. It is like a burgundy color.
But as the trend hit mainstream stores, cheap knockoffs flooded closets, lacking proper stretch and structure. The result? Dresses that clung uncomfortably, revealed every bulge, and made wearers feel trapped rather than confident. Cocktail parties became struggles with zippers and seams. Critics, including Vogue, saw it as a symbol of the 2000s obsession with bold curves and brand-driven fashion over true design. While the silhouette makes occasional comebacks, today's experts favor comfort, fit, and ease over body-constricting glamour. Few garments defined Y2K excess like the Ed Hardy tee, emblazoned with tattoo motifs, flames, skulls, koi fish, and rhinestones.
This is Ed Hardy, and I love the front. It has a skull and then a heart.
Once symbols of edgy individualism, these graphic t-shirts often clashed with outfits and resembled walking billboards for generic badass culture. Celebrity fans from Madonna to Lil' Kim gave them cachet, but the heavy prints faded and cracked, exposing cheap fabric. Fashion retrospectives cite Ed Hardy tees as hallmarks of the era's worst instincts, prioritizing shock value over design, relying on gaudy graphics instead of fit or texture. Reissues appear, most stylists insist. Leave these tees in the 2000s and favor subtle, minimalist graphics. In the early 2000s, charm bracelets weren't just accessories. They were statements, clinking and clattering with every movement. Teen magazines and mall kiosks pushed plastic baubles shaped like hearts, stars, lipsticks, and cartoon animals, all strung together in chaotic rows. The goal? To stack as many charms as possible, often mixing clashing colors, themes, and materials.
But you can create your own virtual charm bracelet so you can see all of the prices and all of the different charms that they're offering right now.
Unlike traditional charm bracelets that carried sentimental or heirloom value, the Y2K versions leaned into maximalism with little cohesion. They were loud, playful, and impossible to ignore, but also cheap-looking and overly busy. Stylists today look back on the trend as a cautionary tale in over-accessorizing. Modern fashion favors intention over excess, with curated pieces that elevate rather than overwhelm. And while charm bracelets may still have a place in jewelry boxes, the 2000s version proved that more isn't always more. In summer's peak, few footwear trends felt as playful as jelly sandals, translucent PVC straps fanning out over neon soles, sometimes elevated on chunky platforms for extra height. Marketed as comfort-forward and waterproof, they promised carefree poolside vibes, until blistered feet, trapped sweat, and slippery soles emerged as the norm. The rigid plastic straps often pinched toes, while platform variants turned casual strolls into balance tests. Fashion editors now lampoon those 5-minute thrills, pointing out that jelly flip-flops cast a juvenile silhouette ill-suited to adult wardrobes.
I've been looking for a really good pair of platform jelly shoes. If you know me, you know that I've recently gotten addicted to buying platform.
Attempts to resurrect the style with cushioned footbeds or pastel hues have done little to counter their impracticality. Today's consensus: embrace breathable materials and ergonomic design when shopping for summer slides, and let jelly remain a nostalgic footnote rather than a fashion revival. Strung low across hip bones, delicate metallic belly chains were the early 2000s answer to minimalist body jewelry.
Classic belly chain with its chic multilayer design. This waist chain features several layers of gold-plated chains.
Paired with ultra-low-rise jeans or micro-skirts, they added a flirtatious sparkle, but also drew unflattering attention to how low the pants sat. The fine links and tiny charms clinked with every movement, touted as an exotic accent but often slipping and sliding mid-day. Critics argue that the trend highlighted impractical hemlines rather than enhancing outfits, and that it perpetuated a fixation on revealing as much skin as possible. Contemporary stylists recommend high-rise silhouettes if you want to showcase torso jewelry, or simply layering necklaces to avoid tug-of-war at the waist. Belly chains now occupy niche spots in festival fashion archives rather than mainstream wardrobes. When Ugg boots burst onto the scene, their fuzzy comfort collided head-on with denim miniskirts in countless street-style snaps. The juxtaposition, a slouchy, sheepskin-lined boot beneath bare legs, aimed for cozy chic, but critics say it read more mismatched. The heavy, winter-weight footwear visually weighed down outfits meant to highlight legs, creating a silhouette that fashion historians now call discordant. Style insiders note that the look was less about cohesion and more about wearing whatever items happened to be popular, resulting in images of oversized boots peeking out from girly skirts. While Uggs still have a place in cold-weather wardrobes, pairing them with tailored pants or thick tights offers a more balanced aesthetic than the infamous miniskirt mashup. Emerging from underground club scenes, early 2000s cybergoth blended industrial rave gear. Think neon fishnets, reflective PVC, and oversized goggles, with goth's dark edge. Neon hair extensions, spiky cyberlocks, and platform boots completed the ensemble, which was visually striking under ultraviolet lights. Yet, on the street, the look often translated as costume-like, requiring substantial investment in wigs, makeup, and specialty pieces. Mid-2000s fashion editors described the trend as a fleeting subculture moment that struggled to cross into mainstream appeal due to its complexity and impracticality. While elements like mesh layering and bold hair colors have since trickled into pop fashion, the full cybergoth raver aesthetic remains a specialized niche, best reserved for themed events rather than everyday wear. The indie sleaze trend sought to marry thrifted 1970s rock and roll vibes with party-ready silhouettes, birthing a curious hybrid of worn leather jackets over glittery formal wear. By the late 2000s, this aesthetic crept into red carpet backdrops, mismatched layers of sequined minis paired with distressed band tees, accessorized with combat boots. Critics argue that rather than looking effortlessly cool, the mashup felt forced, too polished to be grunge, too gritty to be glam. Style analysts now call it a case of over-intentional rebellion, where carefully curated messy became its own uniform. Today's fashion philosophy favors authentic juxtaposition, investing in genuine vintage finds or bespoke tailoring over the contrived mashups that defined indie sleaze formal. From music videos to high school hallways, oversized hoop earrings were impossible to miss in the 2000s. The bigger, the better, sometimes stretching wide enough to rival a bracelet.
I want to direct your attention to the earrings because these beautiful sterling silver, diamond-ink, simulated diamond ink.
Worn by pop stars, reality TV icons, and teen girls alike, these flashy accessories were meant to scream confidence and street style. They glinted under trucker hats, clashed with layered tank tops, and dangled through side-swept bangs. But while they tried to channel attitude and edge, they often crossed the line into impractical and overwhelming. Hoops got caught in hair, snagged on clothes, and occasionally pulled on earlobes like tiny torture devices. What was supposed to be a bold fashion statement started to feel more like a costume. As sleeker, minimalist styles took over, the era of door-knocker earrings quietly closed. At the turn of the millennium, clubgoers embraced a futuristic aesthetic. High-gloss metallic crop tops, liquid silver pants, and mirror-finish Cuban-heeled shoes that gleamed under neon lights. Brands like Y2K and Diesel even released foil lame collections, believing we were all destined for interstellar nightlife. In dim club environments, these pieces dazzled under strobes and lasers, creating a space-age spectacle. But step outside into natural light, and the gleaming garments often appeared plasticky, overly rigid, and startlingly reflective. More costume shop than street-style staple. Contemporary fashion critics note that what once conveyed avant-garde rebellion now reads as impractical overkill, as the severe shine accentuates wrinkles in fabric and random imperfections. Today, stylists recommend judicious metallic accents. Think a subtle lame skirt or chrome detail footwear, rather than head-to-toe reflectivity that belongs strictly to dance floor theatrics. In the early 2000s, a mere inch-wide scarf, often in silk or chiffon, became a must-have accessory regardless of season. Worn, looped snugly around the neck or draped like a delicate choker, these skinny scarves served little practical function. They offered no warmth in winter and no sun protection in summer. Instead, they were purely ornamental tokens of Y2K style, frequently featuring bold patterns, paisleys, animal prints, or cartoon motifs that rarely coordinated with the rest of an ensemble. Fashion critics of the era described them as throwaway frills that introduced more visual chaos than cohesion. Modern stylists agree. The ultra-narrow scarf often competes with neckline details rather than complementing them, creating tension between fabric and skin. Nowadays, scarves are best appreciated in full width, providing both flair and utility, rather than as pointless ribbons around the throat. The layering game of the early 2000s peaked when fashionistas began wearing bright camisoles underneath ultra-thin spaghetti strap or mesh tops.
This is a very summery, beachwear kind of look.
Luminescent pink, neon green, or bold animal prints peeked beneath translucent fabrics, aiming to inject contrast and pop. Stars like Kim Kardashian, Lindsay Lohan, and the Pussycat Dolls flaunted this look in paparazzi shots, fueling the trend. While the intention was to add depth and playful color, the reality often resembled unfinished construction, straps that didn't align, clashing hues, and visible bra lines. Style commentators now critique the aesthetic as juvenile, like a student remix gone wrong, rather than a polished layering technique. Today's fashion advice: opt for tonal layering with complementary shades, or select a single statement camisole worn on its own, ensuring that every visible layer feels deliberate and refined. Nothing said edgy like an oversized, studded, or metallic belt slung several inches below the natural waist, clasped over saggy jeans or loose dresses. In theory, low-slung belts created an elongating silhouette. showcasing hips and drawing the eye downward. In practice, they often slid further with every movement, bunching fabrics and distorting hemlines. The result was droopy, shapeless outfits that lacked definition and interrupted an outfit's flow. Accessories pros now lambast this trend for prioritizing novelty over fit, arguing that belts are meant to sculpt the waistline, not dangle precariously at the hips. Current style guidelines recommend positioning belts at the natural waist, where they cinch and flatter, or removing them entirely if they serve no structural purpose. After all, a statement belt should accentuate curves, not fight gravity. In 2003, Siemens launched Xelibri, a mobile phone line meant to double as fashion accessories. With sleek, asymmetrical shapes, chrome finishes, and jewel-tone colors, these phones looked straight out of a sci-fi film. Some even had detachable earpieces that doubled as pendants. But the futuristic look came at a cost. Tiny screens, awkward keypads, and poor functionality made them frustrating to use.
They decided that in 2003 and 2004 they're going to release an experimental designer series of phones.
Call quality and battery life suffered, and sales quickly tanked. Within a year, the line was discontinued. Today, Xelibri is remembered as a cautionary tale. Flashy design can't replace practical features. Real innovation, as tech historians note, requires balancing style with everyday usability.